Ho stepped off the transport ship and took his first breath of recycled air. Orbital Station Nexus 7 was bigger than he expected. The ceiling stretched high above him, and thousands of aliens walked through the arrival hall. He had never seen so many different species in one place. He was a mechanic from Earth, 26 years old, average height, nothing special about him, but he had skills and the station needed workers. The pay was good and he wanted to see the galaxy. Simple reasons for a simple man. A small robot floated toward him. It had a round body and a single glowing eye. "Human designation Ho," it asked in a flat voice. "Yes, that's me." "Follow, housing assignment ready." Ho grabbed his bag and followed the robot through crowded corridors. Aliens of all shapes moved around him. Some were tall with blue skin. Others were short with fur covering their bodies. A few looked almost human, but their eyes were too large or their skin had strange colors. Many of them stared at him. Some whispered to each other. Ho heard words like human and dangerous and primitive. He pretended not to notice. Humans had only joined the galactic community 50 years ago. They were still new, still not trusted. The robot stopped at a door, marked with numbers Ho could not read. "Your chamber," the robot said. "2 roommates already inside, shared living space, private sleeping areas, questions." "Roommates?" Ho frowned. "I thought I would have my own room." "Housing shortage, all workers share, no exceptions." The robot floated away before Ho could argue. He sighed and looked at the door. Roommates were fine. He had shared apartments back on Earth. How different could it be? He pressed the button, and the door slid open. The chamber was larger than he expected. A common area sat in the middle with comfortable seats and a table. 3 doors led to private rooms. A small kitchen area was built into one wall. It looked clean and modern. 2 aliens stood in the common area. They had been talking, but they stopped when they saw him. The first one was tall and thin. Her skin was pale silver and her hair was long and white. Her eyes were completely black like deep space itself. She wore a simple gray uniform. Everything about her looked cold and serious. The second one was shorter and softer. Her skin was light purple and her hair was dark blue. Her eyes were large and golden, like a cat's eyes. She wore colorful clothes with patterns that moved slowly across the fabric. She looked friendly, but her smile disappeared when she saw Ho. "A human," the tall one said. Her voice was sharp. "There must be a mistake." "No mistake," Ho said. He stepped inside and let the door close behind him. "I'm Ho. I'll be working in the mechanical section." The tall alien crossed her arms. "I am Lyra, species, senior researcher in the biology department. I requested no human roommates." "And I am," the shorter one said. Her voice was musical but nervous. "Species. I work in engineering. I mean this is unexpected." Ho set his bag down. "Look, I didn't choose this either, but housing is limited. We'll have to make it work." Lyra's black eyes studied him like he was something unpleasant. "Humans are known for violence, for eating animal flesh, for loud and aggressive behavior. I do not feel safe sharing space with your kind." Ho felt his patience slipping, but he kept his voice calm. "I'm a mechanic. I fix things, I don't break them. And yes, I eat meat sometimes. So do about 40% of species on this station." The do not said quickly, "We find it disturbing." "Then I won't cook meat when you're around," Ho said. "Problem solved." Lyra made a sound that might have been a laugh but sounded more like disapproval. "You think it is that simple? Humans spread across the galaxy like a disease. You take jobs from other species. You cause problems everywhere you go." Ho took a deep breath. He had heard this before. Every human who left Earth heard it. They were the newcomers, the outsiders, the species that nobody trusted. "I'm here to work," he said slowly. "I'll stay in my room when I'm not working. I'll be quiet. I'll be clean. I won't cause any problems. Can we at least try?" Looked at Lyra, then back at Ho. "I suppose. We could try for a little while. Lyra said nothing. She turned and walked to her room. The door closed behind her with a soft hiss. Gave Ho an apologetic look. She is not usually so cold. Well, she is, but not this cold. People had bad experiences with humans during first contact. Many of her people were hurt. I wasn't there, Ho said. I wasn't even born yet. I know, but memories are long in the galaxy. Paused. My people also have concerns about humans. You are very intense. Your emotions are strong. Your bodies are strong. It can be frightening. Ho nodded slowly. I understand. I'll try not to be frightening. He picked up his bag and walked to the third room. Inside, he found a small but comfortable space. A bed, a desk, a closet, and a window that showed the stars outside. It was simple, but it was his. He sat on the bed and looked at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, his home, his family. They felt very far away now. His tablet buzzed with a message. Work started tomorrow, early shift in Mechanical Bay 7. He would fix broken machines and damaged systems. It was what he knew, what he was good at. But now he had another job, a harder job. He had to prove that humans were not monsters, that they could live peacefully with others, that they deserved to be part of the galactic community. He thought about Lyra's cold eyes and nervous smile. They expected him to fail. They expected him to be loud and violent and primitive. They expected the worst. Ho lay back on his bed and closed his eyes. He would show them, not with words. Words meant nothing. He would show them with actions, day by day, week by week. He would be the best roommate they ever had, even if they never wanted him there. Outside his window, the stars burned bright and silent. The station hummed with the sound of 10,000 lives, and somewhere in that great machine, 3 very different people tried to sleep under the same roof. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new chances to prove himself, new opportunities to fail. But Ho was human, and if humans were known for anything, it was refusing to give up. He smiled in the darkness and let sleep take him. 2 weeks passed on orbital station Nexus 7. Ho learned the rhythm of his new life. Wake up early, go to work, fix machines, come home, stay quiet, go to sleep, repeat. His roommates barely spoke to him. Lyra treated him like he was invisible. She walked past him without a word. She ate her meals alone in her room. When they accidentally met in the kitchen, she would leave immediately. Was better, but not by much. She would say hello and goodbye. Sometimes she would ask about his day, but she always kept her distance. She never sat near him. She never shared a meal with him. She was polite, but she was not friendly. Ho did not push. He kept his promise. He stayed quiet. He cleaned up after himself. He cooked only vegetables when they were around. He tried to take up as little space as possible. But living like a ghost was hard. He missed conversation. He missed laughter. He missed the feeling of being wanted somewhere. One evening, Ho decided to cook a proper meal. Not just simple food from packages. A real meal with fresh ingredients. He had found a market on the station that sold vegetables from a dozen different worlds. He bought things that looked interesting and brought them home. He started cooking, cutting, mixing, adding spices from Earth that he had brought with him. The kitchen filled with smells that reminded him of home, his mother's cooking, family dinners, warm memories in a cold place. Came out of her room. Her golden eyes went wide when she saw the kitchen. "What is happening?" she asked. "Is there a fire?" Ho laughed. "No fire, just cooking." "But the smell, it is so strong, so many different things at once." She covered her nose with her hand. "Food does not smell like this." "Sorry, I should have warned you." Ho turned down the heat. "I'm making a dish from my home country, Korea. It's called bibimbap, rice with vegetables and sauce." Slowly lowered her hand. She looked at the colorful ingredients on the counter. "No meat." "No meat, I promised." She moved closer, curiosity winning over fear. "It looks Interesting, so many colors. Would you like to try some? Hesitated. I don't know, human food might not be safe for bodies. The station database says can eat most earth vegetables. I checked before I bought anything. His eyes went wider. You checked for us. Of course, we share a kitchen. I didn't want to accidentally poison anyone. Something changed in his expression. The fear became something softer, something like surprise. That is, very thoughtful. Lyra's door opened. She stepped out with her usual cold expression. What is that terrible smell? Ho is cooking, said. Human food, he says it is safe for us. Lyra looked at the kitchen with disgust. I will eat in the science building tonight. She walked toward the main door, but Ho spoke before she could leave. It would mean a lot if you stayed. Lyra stopped. She did not turn around. Why would it mean anything to you? Because I'm tired of eating alone. Because sharing food is important in my culture. Because maybe, if we actually talked, you would see that I'm not what you think I am. Silence filled the room, looked between them nervously. Finally, Lyra turned. Her black eyes were unreadable. One meal. If it is terrible, I will never try human food again. Ho smiled. Fair enough. He finished cooking and set the table. 3 bowls of rice covered with colorful vegetables, spicy sauce, and a fried egg on top. He placed chopsticks beside each bowl, then realized his roommates might not know how to use them. You can use spoons if you prefer, he said. They sat down together for the first time since Ho arrived. The atmosphere was strange and uncomfortable, but at least they were trying. Took the first bite. Her eyes went wide again, but this time with wonder. Oh, the flavors are so bright, so alive. Lyra ate more carefully. She chewed slowly, analyzing every taste. Acceptable, she said finally. The spice level is higher than expected. I can make it less spicy next time, Ho offered. I did not say I disliked it. Coming from Lyra, that was almost a compliment. Ho felt a small victory warm his chest. They ate in silence for a while, then asked, What is Korea? You said this food is from Korea. It's a country on Earth, where I grew up, 2 small pieces of land surrounded by water. You come from a specific part of your planet. Interesting, tilted her head. Do not have countries, we see ourselves as one people. Humans tried that, it didn't work for us. We're too different from each other. Lyra made a soft sound. That much is obvious. Humans cannot even agree among themselves. How can they exist peacefully with other species? We're learning, Ho said, slowly, but we're learning. The conversation faded. They finished their meals, helped clean the dishes, which surprised Ho. Even Lyra stayed in the common area instead of hiding in her room. Then coughed. It was a small cough at first. She covered her mouth and smiled. Sorry, something in my throat. But then she coughed again, harder. Her purple skin became paler. Ho stood up. Are you okay? I feel strange, she whispered. Cold, very cold. She swayed on her feet. Ho caught her before she could fall. Her skin was like ice against his hands. She's freezing, Ho said. Lyra, what's happening? Lyra rushed over. She touched his forehead and spoke words in her own language. Her cold expression finally showed something. Fear. Fever, Lyra said. It comes suddenly. Her body temperature is dropping fast. We need to get her warm, now. Ho carried to her room. Her body was small and light in his arms. She shivered violently, her golden eyes clouded with confusion. What do we do? Ho asked. Blankets, heat sources, body contact. Need external warmth when the fever strikes. Their bodies cannot make enough heat alone. Ho grabbed every blanket he could find. He wrapped them around. Lyra brought a heating device from her room and placed it nearby. But kept shivering. The blankets were not enough. She needs more heat, Lyra said. Healers use their own body warmth in situations like this. But bodies are cold. I cannot help her. Ho did not hesitate. Humans run hot. He climbed onto the bed and wrapped himself around. His body heat flowed into her cold skin. She pressed against him instinctively, seeking warmth like a small animal in a storm. "Hold on," Ho whispered. "I've got you." Lyra watched them with an expression Ho could not read. She sat beside the bed and monitored its condition through the night. Neither of them slept. Hours passed, slowly shivering decreased. Her skin became warmer, her breathing steadied. By morning, the fever had broken. Opened her golden eyes and found herself wrapped in blankets and human arms. She blinked in confusion. "Ho, what happened?" "You got sick, fever, you're okay now." She looked at him, at the dark circles under his eyes, at the exhaustion on his face. He had stayed awake all night holding her. "You stayed," she whispered. "Why?" "Because you needed help, that's reason enough." Lyra stood by the door. Her black eyes were wet. Did not cry often, but something in her had cracked. "In my culture," Lyra said quietly, "we do not touch others unless we must. We do not sacrifice our comfort for strangers. But you held her all night. A person who feared you, a person who treated you poorly." Ho shrugged. "She's not a stranger, she's my roommate." Started crying. Purple tears ran down her cheeks. She wrapped her arms around Ho and held him tight. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Ho patted her back gently. "That's what roommates do." Lyra stood in the doorway, watching the human and for the first time since he arrived, she did not look at Ho with distrust. She looked at him with something new. Something like respect. After the night of fever, everything changed. The invisible wall between Ho and his roommates began to crack. Small changes at first. A shared breakfast. A conversation about work. A movie watched together in the common room. Became warm and open. She asked Ho questions about Earth, about Korea, about human customs. She laughed at his jokes even when she did not understand them. She started calling him her friend. Lyra changed more slowly. She still kept her distance sometimes. Old habits were hard to break, but she stopped leaving the room when Ho entered. She occasionally joined their conversations. Once she even made a joke. A small one, but still a joke. 3 months passed. Life on the station felt less lonely. Ho had found something he did not expect to find. He had found a home. Then the alarm started screaming. It happened during dinner. Red lights flashed across the station. A loud siren filled every corridor, every room, every space. "Warning," the station computer announced. "Reactor malfunction in Section 12. All personnel evacuate to safe zones. This is not a drill." Ho's blood went cold. Section 12 was near the station's core. If the reactor failed completely, the explosion would kill everyone on board. The 3 roommates rushed into the corridor. Hundreds of aliens were running in different directions. Some were screaming. Others were frozen with fear. The station was falling into chaos. Ho grabbed his work tablet and connected to the mechanical network. Data flooded his screen. His heart sank when he read it. "The cooling system failed," he said. "The reactor is overheating. If we don't fix it in the next 30 minutes, it will explode." "The engineering teams will handle it," said. Her voice shook with fear. "The engineering teams are evacuating like everyone else. No one is going to Section 12. Lyra's black eyes scanned the data on his screen. "The radiation levels are too high. Anyone who enters that section will die within hours." "Someone has to try," Ho said. He started running toward Section 12. Ho, "Stop," grabbed his arm. "You heard what Lyra said, you will die." "Maybe, but if no one does anything, 10,000 people will die instead." He looked at his roommates, his friends. "I'm a mechanic. This is my job. This is what I'm here for." Tears filled his golden eyes. "Please, there has to be another way." "There isn't, not enough time." Ho pulled his arm free. "Get to the safe zone, take care of each other." He ran. The corridors became emptier as he moved deeper into the station. The air grew hotter. Warning signs covered every wall. Radiation levels climbed higher with every step. Ho reached Section 12. The door was sealed with emergency locks. He used his mechanical codes to open it. The system warned him 3 times before letting him through. Inside the reactor chamber was a nightmare of heat and light. Pipes had burst. Steam filled the air. The main cooling unit sat in the center, broken and useless. Without it, the reactor would continue heating until it exploded. Ho checked his tablet. He needed to repair the cooling unit, replace the broken parts, restart the system. Simple work. He had done it 100 times on smaller machines. But never while dying from radiation. His hands were already shaking. His skin felt like it was burning. Every breath hurt. He pushed the pain aside and started working. First, he removed the damaged panels. The metal was so hot it burned through his gloves. He did not stop. He found the broken components inside, cracked pipes, melted wires, a destroyed pump that had been the first thing to fail. He did not have replacement parts, but he had knowledge and human stubbornness. Ho used pieces from other systems. He connected things that were never meant to be connected. He created solutions that no engineering manual would approve. Ugly solutions, desperate solutions, but solutions that might work. 20 minutes passed. The reactor temperature kept climbing. Ho's vision blurred. Blood dripped from his nose. The radiation was tearing his body apart from the inside. But he did not stop. He reconnected the last wire. He sealed the last pipe. He pressed the button to restart the cooling system. Nothing happened. Ho stared at the dead machine. All his work for nothing, all his sacrifice wasted. He had failed. Then he saw it. One small connector had come loose. A tiny thing, so easy to miss. He reached into the machine with shaking hands. His fingers could barely move anymore. The world was turning gray at the edges. He pushed the connector into place. The cooling system roared to life. Cold liquid flooded through the pipes. The reactor temperature began dropping. The alarm tone changed from emergency red to warning yellow. Cooling system operational, the station computer announced. Reactor temperature decreasing, crisis contained. Ho collapsed on the floor. He could not feel his legs anymore. His whole body was shutting down. But somewhere in the distance he heard cheering, 10,000 voices celebrating survival. He smiled through bloody lips. The door to the chamber burst open. Emergency teams rushed in wearing radiation suits. Behind them came 2 figures without suits, 2 figures who should not have been there. And Lyra. Ho screamed. She ran to him and fell to her knees beside him. "What are you doing here?" Ho whispered. "The radiation." "We don't care," Lyra said. Her cold voice was cracking. "You stupid human, you impossible, stubborn, stupid human." They lifted him together. His body felt like it weighed nothing, or maybe everything. He could not tell anymore. "Take him to medical," Lyra commanded the emergency teams. "Highest priority, do you understand? Highest priority." They carried Ho through the corridors. His eyes were closing. The world was fading. "Stay awake," begged. "Please stay awake, don't leave us." "Wasn't planning to," Ho mumbled. "Still owe you dinner." He heard crying. He felt Lyra's cold hand holding his. 2 aliens who once feared him now refused to let him go. The medical bay was bright and loud. Doctors surrounded him. Machines beeped and hummed. Someone was shouting orders in a language he did not understand. "Human physiology is different," one doctor said. "The radiation damage is severe, but humans have stronger cellular repair than most species. He might survive." "He will survive," Lyra said. Her voice left no room for argument. "He has to." Held his hand tight. "You saved everyone. You saved the whole station. Now you have to let us save you." Ho tried to laugh, but it came out as a cough. "Sounds fair." His eyes finally closed. The world went dark. But in that darkness he felt warm, not the terrible heat of the reactor, a different warmth, the warmth of being wanted, being valued, being loved. He had come to this station as a stranger, an outsider, a human in a galaxy that did not trust humans. Now he was something else. He was a hero. And more importantly, he was not alone. Ho woke up in a white room. Machines surrounded his bed, blinking and beeping softly. His body felt strange, heavy and light at the same time, like he was floating in deep water. He tried to move his hand. It responded slowly, as if the message from his brain took a long time to reach his fingers. Don't try to move too much. He turned his head. Lyra sat beside his bed. Her silver skin looked paler than usual. Dark circles under her black eyes showed she had not slept for a long time. How long? Ho whispered. His throat was dry and rough. 3 days. The doctors kept you in deep sleep while they repaired the radiation damage. Lyra paused. They said any other species would have died. Humans are apparently harder to kill than anyone expected. Ho tried to smile. We're stubborn. That is one word for it. Foolish is another. Where's? She want to get food. She has barely eaten since the accident. She refused to leave your side. Lyra's voice grew quieter. We both did. Ho looked at her. This was not the same cold alien who had wanted him gone 3 months ago. Something in her eyes had changed. The wall she built around herself had fallen. You came into the radiation zone, he said. Without a suit, why? Lyra did not answer for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. Because I could not let you die alone. Because you showed me that some things are more important than protecting myself. Because, she stopped, started again. Because you are my friend, and I have never had a human friend before. The door opened, rushed in carrying a tray of food. When she saw Ho awake, the tray slipped from her hands. She did not stop to pick it up. She ran to his bed and threw her arms around him. You're awake, you're really awake. Purple tears streamed down her face. I was so scared I would never hear your voice again. Ho wrapped his weak arms around her. I'm okay, I'm still here. Don't ever do that again, said into his shoulder. Promise me you won't almost die again. I can't promise that, but I can promise to try my best to stay alive. Laughed through her tears. That's not good enough. It's all I have. Lyra picked up the fallen tray. She set it on the table beside the bed. You need to eat. Your body needs energy to heal. The food was simple, soft things that were easy to swallow. Ho ate slowly while his roommates watched him like he might disappear if they looked away. The station commander wants to see you, Lyra said. When you're well enough, there's talk of a ceremony, an award. You saved 10,000 lives, Ho. The whole station knows your name now. I was just doing my job. No, shook her head firmly. No one else would have done what you did. The other mechanics ran. The engineers ran. Everyone ran. Only you went toward the danger. Because someone had to. But why did it have to be you? Ho thought about that question. He had asked it himself in the reactor chamber, in that moment of heat and pain and fear. Why him? Why did he have to be the one to die? But the answer was simple. It was always simple. Because I could, he said. Because I had the skills to fix it. Because if I ran away and everyone died, I would never forgive myself. Because some things are worth dying for. Lyra sat back in her chair. Her black eyes were wet. Do not think this way. We protect ourselves first. Always. It is logical. It is safe. But watching you, I understand now that safe is not the same as right. Think community is important, added. But we still would not sacrifice ourselves for strangers. We would help our own people first. Let others save themselves. She reached out and took Ho's hand. You saved strangers, aliens who treated you badly, who feared you, who wanted you gone, and you saved them anyway. You're not strangers, Ho said. You're my roommates, my friends. The line between stranger and friend is smaller than you think. Days passed. Ho grew stronger. The doctors were amazed by how quickly his body healed. Human cells worked overtime to repair the damage. It would take weeks more before he was fully recovered, but he would survive. He would live. Visitors came to his room, aliens he had never met. They brought gifts, food, flowers from distant planets. They thanked him with words he did not always understand. They bowed. They cried. They shook his hand with tentacles and claws and fingers of every shape. The fear was gone from their eyes. When they looked at him now, they saw something different. Not a dangerous human, not a primitive newcomer. They saw a hero. But Ho did not feel like a hero. He felt tired. He felt grateful to be alive. He felt happy that and Lyra were safe. One evening, when the visitors finally stopped coming, the three roommates sat together in Ho's hospital room. The lights were dim. The station hummed quietly around them. "Tell us about Korea," said. "Tell us about your home." So Ho talked. He told them about the mountains and the sea, about the 4 seasons that changed the land every few months, about his parents who still lived in a small village, about the food his mother made, about the games he played as a child, about the friends he left behind. Lyra listened carefully. "Do you miss it, your home?" "Every day, but being here helps. Having you two helps." Curled up in her chair. "Home world is warm, covered in forests that glow at night. We sleep in trees, we sing to the stars. I miss it too." "Come from a cold world," Lyra said. "Ice and stone and silence. We value peace, stillness. We do not touch, we do not share." She looked at her hands. "I was considered strange among my people, too curious, too emotional. They sent me here because I did not fit." "Then we're all misfits," Ho said. "A human nobody trusted, a far from her trees, a who feels too much." "Perhaps that is why we found each other," whispered. Lyra reached out slowly. She took Ho's hand on one side and on the other. The touch was awkward for her, uncomfortable, but she did not pull away. "In my culture, this would mean family," she said. "Holding hands like this, it is the deepest bond a can share." His golden eyes widened. "In culture too, hand to hand, heart to heart, family." Ho felt tears building in his eyes. He held their hands. "In Korean culture, family is everything, not always blood. Sometimes family is the people who choose to stay with you." The three of them sat in silence. Different species, different worlds, different lives, but in that moment they were one. Outside the window, the stars burned bright. The universe was vast and cold and dangerous. But here, in this small room, there was warmth. There was love. There was family. Ho closed his eyes and let himself rest. For the first time since leaving Earth, he was not alone. He was home. 6 months after the reactor accident, Ho received a message that changed everything. He was sitting in the common room of their chamber, reading reports from the mechanical department. His body had fully healed. The doctors called it a miracle. Ho called it stubbornness. Either way, he was back to work and back to his normal life. Except life was no longer normal, it was better. Sat beside him, learning to cook Korean food from videos on his tablet. She had become obsessed with human cuisine. Every week she tried a new recipe. Most of them failed, but she never gave up. Lyra was in her room, but her door was open now, always open. She said closed doors felt lonely. A strange thing for her to say, but Lyra was no longer a typical. She had changed. They all had changed. Ho's tablet buzzed with a new message. He opened it and felt his heart stop. The message was from Earth, from the Central Space Agency. They were offering him a new position, lead mechanic on the first human colony ship, a 5-year mission to establish a human settlement in a distant star system. It was the most important job any human mechanic could ever have. It was also on the other side of the galaxy. "What is it?" Looked up from her cooking video. "You look strange." Ho showed her the message. Her golden eyes scanned the words. The excitement on her face faded slowly. "A colony ship," she whispered. "You would leave the station." "Yes. For 5 years. Maybe longer." Lyra appeared in her doorway. She had heard everything. Her silver face showed no emotion, but Ho knew her well enough now to see the pain hiding behind her black eyes. "This is a great honor," Lyra said. Her voice was perfectly controlled. "Humans building a new home among the stars. You should accept." "I haven't decided yet." "What is there to decide?" Lyra stepped into the common room. "This is your dream. You told us once that you came to space to see the galaxy, to be part of something bigger. This mission is exactly that." Stood up quickly. "He doesn't have to go. There are other mechanics, other humans who can do this job." "But he is the best choice. Everyone knows it. After what he did during the reactor crisis, his reputation is legendary. Earth wants their hero to lead this mission." "Stop talking about him like he's not here," his voice cracked. "Ho, tell her you don't want to go." Ho looked at his two friends, his family, the people who had started as strangers and become the most important part of his life. "I need to think," he said quietly. "This is not a small decision." He walked to his room and closed the door. Behind him, he heard crying and Lyra speaking soft words of comfort. He sat on his bed and stared at the message. 5 years, maybe more, on the other side of the galaxy, away from this station, away from his friends. But serving humanity, building something new, being part of history. He should want this. Every fiber of his human ambition should want this. So why did his heart feel so heavy? Days passed. Ho could not decide. The deadline for his answer grew closer, became quieter. Lyra became colder, rebuilding her walls as if preparing for loss. One night, Ho found them both in the common room. They were looking at something on a tablet. When he entered, they quickly tried to hide it. "What is that?" he asked. "Nothing," said Tu quickly. Ho reached for the tablet. Let him take it. Her eyes were red from crying. On the screen was a document, a formal request to the station administration. It asked for permission to transfer 2 alien workers to the human colony ship, 1 engineer, 1 scientist. Ho's breath caught in his throat. "You want to come with me?" "We were going to tell you," Lyra said. Her voice was steady but her hands were shaking. "But we needed to know if it was even possible first. Aliens have never joined a human colony mission. There would be challenges, complications. Many would oppose it." "Why?" Ho asked. "Why would you give up everything to follow me?" Stepped forward. Tears ran down her purple cheeks. "Because you are our family, because home is not a place. Home is the people you love, and we love you, Ho. We cannot imagine our lives without you." Lyra nodded. "Believe in logic, in careful decisions. But some decisions are not about logic, they are about the heart. And my heart says that wherever you go, I should follow." Ho looked at the document, then at his friends, then at the stars outside the window. His whole life, he had wanted to explore the galaxy, to see new worlds, to be part of something greater than himself. But what was greater than this? What was more important than the people standing in front of him? He put down the tablet. "I'm not going." Gasped. "What?" "I'm not accepting the mission. I'm staying here with you." "But your dream," Lyra said. "Your career, everything you worked for." "Dreams change. Careers are just jobs, but what we have here." Ho shook his head. "I spent months trying to prove that humans are not dangerous, that we can live peacefully with others, that we can be trusted. If I leave now, I throw all of that away. I abandon the people I love for a title and a ship." He walked to them, took their hands in his. "I came to this station as a stranger. You showed me that strangers can become family. You showed me that different species can love each other. You showed me that home is not where you come from, it's where you belong." He pulled them both into a hug, buried her face in his chest. Lyra stood stiff for a moment, then melted into the embrace. "I belong here," Ho said. "With you. This chamber is my home, this station is my home, you are my home." They stayed like that for a long time. Three people from three different worlds, holding each other in a small room among the stars. Later they ate dinner together, made her best attempt at Korean food yet. It was terrible. They ate every bite anyway, laughing at the awful taste. Lyra told a joke, a real joke, laughed so hard she almost fell off her chair. Ho watched them with a full heart. He thought about the message from Earth, about the colony ship, about the hero's journey he had turned down. He did not regret it, not for a single moment. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders he would never see, adventures he would never have, worlds he would never explore. But right here, in this tiny chamber, he had something more precious than any of that. He had love. He had family. He had home. Outside the window, the stars burned eternal. The universe continued its endless dance. Somewhere out there, humans were building new colonies, exploring new frontiers, making history. And here, on orbital station Nexus 7, three very different people shared a meal and laughed at burnt food. It was not a grand story, not a hero's journey, not an epic adventure. It was something better. It was real. Ho raised his glass to home, raised hers to family. Lyra raised hers to us. They drank together. The future was uncertain. The galaxy was dangerous. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. But tonight they were together. And that was enough. That was everything.